तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल।
हाँ जी।
ओके
हाँ, मोहित तो कितना 3 बार रेकमेंड हो गया, कितनी बार हो गया है?
तो 3 बार
3 बार हो गया ना, गुड यार। हमारे तो अब मतलब हैट्रिक एंड क्वाड्र 4 टाइम्स एंड ऑल दैट है। 1 टाइम रिकमेंडेशन तो हल्का हो गया अभी नो फ्रिल्स एकेडमी के लिए है। चल गुड मोहित यार, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस। बता इन ब्रीफ योर एक्सपीरियंस, यू एंड टेल the major parts of your experience which would be valuable for the aspirants, as also what things you kept in mind कि over confidence से गड़बड़ ना हो जाए, and what all improvements you have continued to make in yourself. समझ गया बात? हैं?
यस सर।
इस हिसाब से बता बच्चे, आराम से फ्रीली बता। हाँ
Okay, so first of all, thank you all for inviting me, and good morning, everyone. Every experience, every attempt has been exclusive, and in every attempt, we get to know a lot of new people, and new people are sources of new knowledge, new things you get to know about the world. And of course, when I talk about people, I'm not just talking about candidates, but the assessors also. So in all my attempts, the type of assessment or what I would say the approach of assessment to me appeared a bit different. Each command task was different, each interview was different. Once it was 1 hour, second time it was 2 hours, and third time it was just 20 to 25 minutes. So each time, what as Col Nehru says, there you should not make up any template in your mind that these are the things which are going to happen. I should be prepared for this only. Rather, you should be prepared for all the aspects which they are looking for in any manifestation. Be it be in any form, be it be in written or verbal or through anything, it can be checked. You should be prepared not just for them, but yourself also. It will benefit you and bring the very purpose of life, which is happiness, into you, into the existence. If I talk about SSBs, initially the screening process. So whatever things, individual tasks in the entire SSB which are not affected by the people performing beside you or the peers beside you, I think these individual tasks can be perfected with practice. Now here I talk about OIR, narration, the quality of story you write. Now group discussion is something related to the people of the group. So you have to accordingly change your mindset and change your approach so that you can increase your performance in that very test. So regarding the individual performances, very specifically about OIR, I think with good practice and with good speed, you'll be able to excel in it, and this will give you some kind of confidence. Secondly, if we talk about the PPDT, I think here you just need to look about 2 aspects to write a good story. The story should be logical, and the story should be positive. Now, when I say logical, I think you should consider whatever position or situation the given characters are in. Imagine yourself there. Imagine what are the resources which can be available to you, depending on what you have perceived in the picture. Once, as Sir said, that he was talking about one of his experiences when he was and other peers were given some situation and they were planning an operation. So for a very long time, Sir was just thinking what to write, and while others had started writing. The same thing I have also started practicing in the PPDT. While 4 minutes are given exactly to write your story, in the initial 1.5 minutes, I'm just thinking what story I need to write. Once I'm clear with this, within 2 minutes I'm able to write 6 lines, and I think this is really possible for most of the people. To write 6 lines, you cannot take 4 minutes, but rather if you spend more time in thinking, then you will have clarity. You will not be thinking while writing, but since you have already given a mature thought to what you are about to write, you'll be able to write it very efficiently in good handwriting. This has been my experience to practice only. I practice the same during NFA sessions also. And I think narration can also be practiced. NFA sessions provide you good opportunity to practice it further on towards the group discussions. Since I have said it is relative, in NFA sessions we are quite aware due to numerous practices, that how the group behaves, and eventually we make up our mind and act accordingly. But in actual SSBs, people will be different, situations will be different. People might be more desperate, people might be more calm. In either of the situation, you should be ready to perform well, take the lead, clear out the chaos, let everyone speak, give your points, make a good story within. And this all should happen fast. You cannot sit passive in a group discussion. The more active you are, you will find that you are adding or contributing more to the group discussion, and eventually you'll be happy with your group discussion. Now, talking about the psychology test, again, these are the tests which are not affected by the people around you. So, as I've said
Mohit,
in,
sorry, Mohit, sorry for interrupting your chain of thought. एक थोड़ा आपके 3 एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं, तो ये थोड़ा बताइए कि जो ये स्केर्सिटी माइंडसेट से आपके ग्रुप मेंबर्स होंगे, जिसमें आप जीडी करेंगे ना, पीपीडीटी वाला, उसके लिए आप कैसे तैयार रहे और आपने कैसे मैनेज किया? बिकॉज इट वुड बी रेलेवेंट फॉर आवर स्टूडेंट, बिकॉज people feel apprehensive about it. I'm sure you would also have felt apprehensive many times about it.
okay,
समझ गया ना
so
बात?
apart, yes, I got it.
हाँ, please. Yeah.
So apart from getting recommended thrice, I have also got screened out once. So I have figured out some mistakes. Like one of the mistake would be to be desperate in the group discussion. Now, here when we talk about scarcity versus abundance, there should be some kind of acceptance in your mind that your story is not the only story which is best for the given picture. While it is not the agenda of the group discussion to get the best picture or get the best story for the picture. The agenda of the group discussion is to come at a good come at a story. Now, this story may vary that it is very excellent or very bad, but majorly it lies between the good. And here you will find most of the people, when I talk about scarcity mindset, people will try to impose their story upon the group so that the group chooses their story. Here, I can suggest you that you can do, you can take advantage of this. Like, these people will be very advantageous for you. Let's say you with the other members are trying to make up a good story, and this person says that, see, I have this idea, and you remember that this was the same idea that he used in his individual story. Now here, if you take a small part of his and add it to the story, this will effectively suffice that person. He will not disturb you anymore, and you will be also ensuring that some part of his story is taken. And if you consider that his story is totally illogical or something which you will consider that will be going away from what we have reached at the present consensus about the story, then I think you can put some arguments, but these arguments has to be crisp. In group discussions, the more you spend time on arguing what has to be done, the more, less will be time available for deciding and making the proper story. So within one or two arguments, please convince that person that this is not the case to be taken. And otherwise, in my opinion, what I usually practice is I suffice that person by taking a small portion of it. And before that, I appreciate that this is a very good point. Generally, people do get calm after this. And this is the main agenda is for yourself only. You need to ensure that the group has a good story. For that, whatever obstacle is coming to in front of you, you can manage it, like either the way I do, or otherwise whatever you consider right, depending upon his point and where the group is leading to. So I think I have answered the question.
Thank you very much for sharing this aspect. I hope it settled the minds of a lot of people. In case anybody has any query on this issue, can straight away ask Mohit right now. Please go ahead if anybody has a query on this issue only. Because this is a very, very pertinent question for a large number of aspirants. Please go ahead.
I have one. Mohit, can you elaborate how you did it actually? A little more elaboration.
Okay. So let's say we have a story or a picture of two or more people, a group of people, seems to be college students. The
Mohit,
background is
आप hypothetical मत बताओ. आप एक्चुअल में ऐसा हुआ ही होगा,
हाँ सर, एक्चुअल में
उसे ही
EGD में
बता दो
हमारे साथ।
बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली जो हुआ, तो देन दे विल
ठीक है,
अंडरस्टैंड इट।
okay. So in this case, the group were deciding that these guys are looking for a model. Now, just this has appeared on the surface of the group discussion, that these guys are working out for making a model of or a simulation of something which has to be happen. And then suddenly one or two guys who had similar viewpoint of that and similar stories, that these guys are actually working for the cleanliness of the campus. Now, these were the and they were very stagnant about this, that this has to be happen, and we are not gonna back off. Now at that point, what I did was that I appreciated that they have a good point, and we can include it in our base of the story itself. That we have decided that we have a basic model about something. Let's make a model of an machine which is actually working about cleanliness in the college campus. So these are engineering students who are making a prototype model of a machine which will actually helping about cleanliness in the campus and can be extrapolated into other areas also. By this, in my case, at least they were convinced.
Good, Mohit, proceed. And Mohit, you take on the coordinator's role also, and as you keep explaining the things, you yourself invite questions where you feel that questions can be there, and keep settling them then and there.
Okay, sir. So right
समझ
now
गया?
I'm not in Jammu. I'll be reaching Jammu in with a few days. I'll start coordinating again.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, तब की नहीं, मैं अभी के लिए कह रहा हूँ, फॉर द नाउ व्हेन यू आर नाउ, अपना आप एक्सपीरियंस
Okay,
बताओ
okay.
कैसे कैसे आपने किया, और जहां पे आप सोचते हो किसी के दिमाग में सवाल उठ सकता है, विच यू नो वेल, you are invite the question and answer the question then and there without my having to come and ask you those points.
Got it, sir.
समझ गया?
Yes, sir.
हाँ भाई, 3 बार का तू अब सेलेक्ट हुआ है, तो ठोक बजा के सेलेक्ट किया है सिलेक्शन सिस्टम ने। हाँ, तो अपना सॉलिड बात बता बिल्कुल है।
Okay, sir.
चल बेटा, चलो कंटिन्यू।
Okay, so now we proceed towards the psychological test. First, let's talk about TATs. Again, in TATs, I would suggest you to follow the basic rule of logic and positivity. Once you have found logic, now you can find logic when I say you need to make your story logical. As I've said earlier, imagine yourself in the position of the character shown to you. Imagine what are the resources available to you in that given condition around you. Now, while you have perceived that character, you might have also perceived some kind of profession, or he might be a student, or he might be a businessman, or whatever profession you have perceived. Now, accordingly, imagine what all skills he have and all what he can do to solve the given condition and to create out of the given condition. Now, here comes the positivity part. That if you can do something positive, like I do not want to sound it like a template, but for example, if I get two stories and one story is very limited to a person who wanted to achieve something, let's say wanted to get into the armed forces, started preparing, did this and that, finally he's into the armed forces. The second thing is that there's another person who was very good at studies. Now, apart from preparing for his own, he was also giving tuitions, earning, supporting his family, and few other things. So here the positivity comes part that the person is apart from himself. Like अपने लिए तो सब करते हैं, but अपने के अलावा कुछ सोसाइटी के लिए, अपने स्टेट के लिए, अपने स्कूल के लिए, अपने इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए, अपने नेबर्स के बच्चों के लिए, अपनी सोसाइटी के बच्चों के लिए, या फिर अपने पेरेंट्स के लिए, अपनी फैमिली के लिए, अगर वो कुछ कर रहा है, इन एडिशन टू that he is good in whatever he is in present state, he has a motivation, he has a goal, aim. Apart from that, he is doing something good for the society or for the family. I think this adds the positivity part to the story. And as I've said, same is the case with logical also. And I think if you combine them, you will be able to make a very fine story. And as I've suggested, first think about a story, then 6 to 7 lines won't take more than 2 minutes, and you will be actually not in a state of hurry. Psychological tests are a series of tests, and the more you put pressure on yourselves, you will realize that your performance is degrading by the end of the test. So apart from performing, you have also to ensure that your mind is calm. So while you're thinking about something, then efficiently writing it, preparing yourself for the next story. Now this will continuously add on to the productivity which you will be showing during these stories. Any doubt?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please go on.
Mohit sir, what should be the structure of that? Means what is in the starting phase of story, and what is in the middle phase? Then in ending, what should be the structure?
Okay. See, when you think, as I said, when you think a lot about your story, but where it starts and where it ends. If you read the example of the stories which are given in the Col Nehru's book, Practical Guide, in the very first two lines, they end up giving all the introduction which was supposed to be given, and they clear whatever the situation the person is in presently. So when I talk about the structure of the TATs, I think in the initials, you should be very clear that this is my character and so he is in such a situation due to this and this fact. Within 2 to 3 lines, this should be over. And now the coming 3 to 4 lines should be are supposed to be explanation of what he's doing to solve the given condition to get maximum productivity or do whatever he wishes to in given condition. So I think again, this cannot be a template. This is not fixed. Depends upon the story. Depends on your mood that day. But generally, this is the aim that in the initials that I clear out whatever the position my character is, and in the following lines I explain it elaborately what my character will be doing to solve the given condition.
Thank you.
Mohit, I have one question. You gave the example of man like who is preparing for the armed forces, and side by side like giving the tuition also. So our main aim is to get selected in the armed forces. So we should like add the action how we prepare. And I understand that you are talking about positivity, like giving tuition to the children. But what is the linkage between the two?
The link in between is that, as I said, you cannot add much to this. That a person wanted to prepare for something, gave the test and cleared it. That's it. Cannot add much to it. Apart from it, but at the present situation, most students are heavily relied on their parents to pay for their education and their normal expenses. But while at the same time, if you compare the same to the students of other countries, most of them by this time are actually able to earn for themselves. By this, I wish to add, like I'm again saying, this is not a template but a mindset that in this given condition, this is what normal students, everyone would do, sit, prepare for his exams. But my character is extraordinary. He's apart from the society. He's realizing that he's aware of that he's having enough time to give to his main agenda, which is to get into the armed forces. But in the spare time, can he do something more productive than apart from watching Instagram reels or YouTube? This is the mindset.
I understand.
Similarly, you can extrapolate it into an engineer's job, or person who is a doctor, or anyone else.
Right, understood.
Okay, any other question before we move on? Okay, then. Coming to WATs. In WATs, I would suggest you to give a bit practice. So I'm very clear that Col Nehru suggests not to practice psychology tests a lot, but I would suggest you that before going to SSB, at least 1 or 2 sets in a continuity. Why I say so? For the speed itself, just it's the reason for the speed. Like I initially had a problem of writing very long sentences in WATs. I mean, during my first assessment, so gave a remark on that. I've tried to work upon that, and slowly I realized that the raw thought is in my mind. Similarly, would be in your mind also, given a specific stimulus.
I will, sorry, Mohit, for the interruption. Actually, I really am so happy that you are feeling quite free to contradict what I have stated. Because you know what I state is from my mindset. I have my perceptions. I may be having my biases which I am not aware of. Fine. So the culture of No Frills Academy is to work with differences and have a very clear notion that there is no one size fit all. There is no one formula for all. We have to devise what may work out. Fine. So Mohit, I totally appreciate your outlook. ये जो नेहरू ने बोला है उसको उस पे भी जबरदस्ती चलने की जरूरत नहीं है. अपने दिमाग से सोचो, is it working for you or not? If it is not working, use the method which works for you. Thank you so much. Please proceed. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
Can submit me VAT. Amanpreet Singh also submitted me VAT. He said to me that helped in his recommendation. So you can submit me at nofrilsenrollments@gmail.com. Yes, Mohit, go ahead.
Okay. So here I would like to point another thing. Like Sir gives, similar to Sir, I am very confident that most of the candidates will be looking out for other resources also, which keep on, just like me, providing tips and guidance for this SSB. What you need to ensure is that you do not directly follow whatever the person says. You need not to have any admiration for the person or his thought, but rather have the admiration for what led to that thought or what thing that thought is pointing to. For example, now Sir says that do not practice psychology tests a lot, because then he gave a reason, an example of a person who was practicing psychology test, but there was no certain improvement in the quality of the stories he was making. Now here the thing Sir wanted to highlight was that such kind of practice is of no help to you, where you are just practicing like madmen, writing words and stories day and night, eventually getting no output. But rather instead of it, but if you have a controlled practice, and you will have more controlled practice if you have it limited. And as I said in WATs, practice 1 or 2 sets. When I say sets, so I mean 60 words in a go, without any break, without any hesitancy. Some words can be skipped if at moment any thought do not come to mind. But as I analyzed, my problem was that I was not able to shorten the raw thought I had in my mind and wanted to express. So similarly, when you will practice, you will realize what is your problem. Try to first analyze what is the problem. Eventually, you will be able to find a solution. Any doubt about WATs?
I have a doubt. Like in WATs, what happens is sometimes we make a very good sentence which shows your creativity or something which is, expresses some kind of thought or something. But then with some words, we are just like, nothing. We come with, we define it. Let's say murder. So murder is a heinous crime or something. Or say flowers. Flowers are beautiful. Like sometimes happen when there are 60 words. A few sentences we go are like just random thoughts. So is it totally fine?
I can not tell you very clearly since I'm not a psychologist also, but
Right.
I once saw a video of a psychologist, and he, according to him, what I was able to contemplate, he said it was right. In 60 words, where you within very short time, that is 15 seconds, you are trying to prepare a thought, express it. I think at moments it will come to you that the productivity of your mind will drop. But I think here it comes to the sign. Whenever it happens to you, let's say you did very fine 9 sentences, and the 10th sentence is you are not very impressed by the 10th sentence, then I think it is a reminder for you that now 11th sentence should be very good.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Sorry for butting in here, Mohit. लक्ष्मी, क्या है, विराट कोहली ने सेंचुरी बनाई होगी, उसमें से हाइलाइट्स में 4-5 शॉट आएंगे क्या सारे के सारे शॉट हाइलाइट वाले होंगे?
So 4-5 जो मेन शॉट थे.
हाँ, कुछ हो सकता है उसने 1-2 छक्के मारे हो, 10-11 बाउंड्रीज फोर्स मारे हो, बाकी सिंगल और टूज लिए होंगे. तो बेसिक एफर्ट तो ग्राफ्टिंग में लगा,
Hmm.
That is how life is. You know, it would be more than 98% of your life. Life's success would depend upon diligence and doing things, the common stuff things, reasonably well. That's all. No brilliance at all. It would
Yes.
be 1 to 2% of billions even जब तुम्हारी जिंदगी खत्म होगी तब भी.
Hmm.
तो
Yes, sir.
वही WAT है. WAT में एक आदमी ने 2-3 बड़े अच्छे सेंटेंस बना दिए, वो कहाँ 60 कौन बना देगा यार?
Hmm. Getting your point, sir.
You're getting the point.
Yes, sir.
So we should be satisfied by that. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
चाहिए नहीं, ब्रिलियंस चाहिए नहीं, होती भी नहीं है.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay, if not any, you can move to self-description. So you can write up your self-description and get it checked by Sir Col Nehru and the blank story also before going for this SB. Since these are the things which you can prepare at home, so I think keep it to the perfection. All 5 paragraphs are equally important. So initially, since I said I had a problem with writing speed. So firstly, I used to write three sentences for each paragraph. Once done with this, then I used to add for each paragraph 1 or 2 line, 1 or 2 line, 1 or 2 line. So you can analyze that, practice it once or twice. I think once or twice will be enough. Realize whatever your speed is, or give thought, whatever your parents think about, your teachers think about you, and do not imagine yourself what your parents might be thinking about you. Go simply ask them, then analyze what you need to uh, write. Write it clearly, get it checked by Circle and Nehru. If any amendments required, make it. Any doubt? Okay then. Talking about the interview. So again, the things which can be perfected at home should be. So the things you are about to write in PIQ, you should be well aware of. I'm not saying you cannot know everything which is present on this world, but do your best. Whatever you can learn about whatever you are supposed to write in the PIQ, you should be well aware of that. And again, do not cramp up the answers. Do not cramp up the very language of the sentence you are going to speak. Just keep the main idea which you are going to project to the officer or interviewer. If you are clear with that idea, what I need to speak about, by the time that question will be asked, might not be in the same language that you have heard about, but would be very similar to it, and can be just a point of it, just a tip. And so ensure that you do not, because if you had crammed the answer, then you will just speak out and he will eventually got to know. But if you have just the idea what I need to express, you will be able to express it in any of its form, asked in any way around. These things will help you do not get nervous when the interview is going on. Now, while there will be number of questions asked, the very first thing that personally I do when I recommend is take a deep breath, calm yourself. Then I think about the questions, the answers. I take my time, then give the answers. Certainly, I am more satisfied with the answers when I am relaxed, when I practice this mechanism of relaxing myself, then thinking about it, taking my time, then answering it. I'm very satisfied with this procedure. But rather, sometimes it might happen to you also. Once happened to me also that I got excited during the interview. He asked a question, and just before he completed his question, I answered it. Eventually, you will not be very this will not suffice your expectations of how you should answer in an interview. So keep yourself calm. No, do not get nervous. Do not lie, because that will eventually, he will, he may or might not. But if he start answering, questioning more about it, then you will get nervous, and from here on, this nervousness can compromise the next coming minutes of your interview also. So for a very specific thing, which is 1 out of 100, you are telling a lie. This will, if you are telling a lie and the things do not go as you expected, so the spill might, this might spill over the other parts also. So this is not to be done. I suggest it is not to be done. And apart from that, if you do not know any question, that's completely okay. But do not lose your effort. Now, for example, I give you a question. Okay, name any 10 countries around the world which start with M. You might think about 5 or 6, but till the point the interviewer don't ask you to quit, please don't. Please keep on putting your effort to think about it. He's giving you time. He's the coordinator of the interview. He will decide how much time to give. But till the point he has not asked you to stop, please continue to think about it. It might take long pauses in between, but at least you should not quit in this case. Continue to put your effort. Eventually you will get an answer. You will be rather more satisfied with this instead of quitting. In case you get SRTs in between your interviews, sometimes I've seen my friends gotten WATs also. So just in case, so ensure that you again give enough mature thought to it before expressing it. And case the language of the interviewer, his tone, his expressions can vary. Sometimes you will find a very friendly interview. They will ask you simple questions in a very sweet tone. Sometimes it can be you might see the person a bit rude, and the way of his questioning also. Whatever you might reason that I am doing so because of this reason, he will question that reason in a very rude manner. So that is not the point of time where you back off and you sit like a small child. Rather think about your logic and defend it calmly. So do not get swinged away by the tone of the questioner, of the interviewer. Please do not get swayed away by that. That is of no logic. Rather focus on the very question. So that will again help you to remain calm. And once you are calm, you'll be able to answer the question very finely. Any questions? Okay, then if not any, we can move to GTO. Just in case, let's say when I'm talking about GTO, if anyone has any question regarding the psychology test or the screening or the interview, please feel free to ask. So talking about the GTO again, group discussions. So regarding the group discussions, we all are clear that having good knowledge about the current affairs, first, and second, having a good positive understanding of the world will help you expressing your thought. Practices in NFA sessions will help you clear all the hindrances which you might see in group discussion. So if you have good knowledge, you do not are under the bracket of scarcity mentality. You are in the abundance one. You will be able to cooperate with the people also. You will be able to rather reorganize the chaos which generally do get created. So as I've said earlier also, chaos is actually an opportunity for you. You as a leader see a chaos, settle it. This will be effective for everyone, not just you, but everyone else also. So convincing skills you need for them, and you can practice them at various sessions, and not just in sessions, but also while talking to people. Like especially when I talk to my friends about political issues, these things do help. So these are the few things which will help you in the group discussion. Any doubt about group discussion? These one, the current affair and the moral. Okay, just one thing. Generally, what happens is we have a doubt in our minds that whether can we change our lead or whether we can speak on one or more lead. So this will purely depend upon the instructions given to you. Sometimes, like in the initial instruction is given that you can speak whatever you want, whenever you want, where, how many times you want to wish. Please speak it freely without the care for expression. But if you look at the language of the question, which is asked by the GTO just before the GD is started, sometimes his language of question will be like, in your opinion, what is the single most important aspect which affects this and this? Now, given this language of the question, I think it becomes clear that you have to choose one of the leads which you consider is the single most important one. Now, at the same point, while addressing the group, you might it will occur to you that other people, for few other people, the single most important one is different. For you, it is different. So just in this case, I think you should not start debating on that this is the single one winner, this is the single one winner. While giving your argument, please acknowledge that you do consider that the other one is important. But just in the case of priority, this one is important, because all the leads are going to be important factors for whatever the condition is given. So apart from your knowledge, your group manners are also checked there. So talk please politely and express in a calm manner whatever you think about the given topic. Talking about the group planning exercise, now here comes again an individual task, which is writing the solution of your own. So figure out a few things while listen very carefully when the map is given and the narrative is read. Try to figure out most of the things in that time also. When you will be given the written narration, now here you can divide a time in two. The initial one, read it correctly, that you have whatever you have heard is right. You have not committed any mistake. Once done, now try to recall all the important timestamps and position stamps which are going to be required. That at so and so and time, such so and so people will be there, and so will be people will be there. So before the narrative gets out of your hands, try to remember perfectly all these things, because these are the basic things. If you do an error in this, then this error will get extrapolated to all the planning which you will be doing in the further time. So be clear about all the timings and the positions. Once done with this, you can start in the initial 5 minutes only, start making a raw plan what you will be doing, what movements will be done from where to where, what resources can you get, what resources you will be required to manage, how many men to be sent, etc. And while planning this, why I suggest this, because when you will start planning like this, you will be thinking about, no, what is the time, because I am planning so and so, so how much this will take so and so time. The event which is occurred, it is supposed to occur at point B, will occur at this time, but the present time, what was it? Now you will recall, and the narrative will be in front of you. So by doing this, since I'm saying it, do rawly only. On a raw basis, if you these things, you'll be able to perfectly picture whatever timings are supposed to be remembered. Then the narrative will be out of your hands. Then you can initially, as I said also, first plan clearly, then write. Do not plan while writing. And you can target one specific problem initially, prioritize it. Generally, it is the case that since you are 8 to 10 people, so need not to be there one priority itself. Since you are 8 to 10 people, you can divide your group and start from the very initial point, all the 3 tasks which are equally important. So need not to give one priority to a very single one where all the resources has to be left. So if 3 jobs can be done at a time from the initial point only, try to do that. And eventually you'll be able to save time, resource, distribute them, and start planning. Ensure that the minor details do not get left out, because most certainly the situation will be like that you came to for a picnic at this in this place, or for a research at this in this place. Now you are supposed to go back, you are not supposed to live there. So that last point, that when you are supposed to get back, this will be mentioned, but I have committed a mistake a lot of times, that I usually forget about these, but certainly I realized it, and now do not repeat it. So through practice in NFA sessions, you will be able to get this. And talking about the group discussion again, chaos will be created. You are supposed to clear the chaos for the benefit of you and all. Uh, Again, the same thing which I have been practicing through all of my attempts. I suggest the people to let's first give our thoughts and opinions about a very specific problem. That if an accident has happened, what is your opinion? What resources should be used, and what action should be taken? I call out from all these people, and then we are able to commit a good consensus, and then we keep on switching between the problems, and by the end of the timing, we are able to get along a good solution. So if you are able to do so and so, do not worry about nominations. I personally feel they are of no worth, though I have got nominated every single time I have attempted SSB. But eventually, you are going to represent the group's plan, not your own plan. Make sure that whatever the group has planned, you express it at that point without any bias. If the GTO asks that anyone who disagrees with the common plan, if you have a better alternative, which you did said, or now you have then please explicitly say to the GTO, because it might be more logical to do so. And if at that moment you feel so, please please blatantly say it to the GTO. Do not hesitate. Nothing with this GP would be over. Any doubt?
Yeah, Mohit, I don't have doubt in GP, but I do have doubt in GD. There are vast array of topics to be covered. So how did you filter out those topics? And I would like to know the resources that you follow for your awareness part.
Okay, personally, I read Indian Express. So whatever are the major topics which are covered in the editorials. Sometimes it happens that certain topic is covered in the editorial, but it is not the complete information. So rather, what I do is I make a note of it, cut out the editorial, then I research about it on the internet, so that I give my 100% to whatever topic I am reading about. Once done with this, then I move to other topics. So whatever you are reading, please know 100% of it, not just what you read in one article or two articles. Once you have come across a certain topic or a certain aspect of the society which need to be discussed is of importance, then research about it well. Once done with this, then move to the second topic. I used Indian Express and of course YouTube, a few channels which generally do provide good content. Amit Sen Gupta, World Affairs, and Alki Sharma Padre. I think nowadays she is with First Post. And generally, you will get a number of small channels which do provide good insights. Like Soch is also good. Soch by Mohit. I think these channels will help you. I'm quite sure you must be aware of these channels on YouTube. So the agenda is to whatever you read well, and you're quite aware of it. Now, of course, you cannot think you cannot predict what topic you will get in the GD. But in my opinion, the best approach is to read whatever you are reading in good format, and eventually it will help. It has never happened to me that I researched something well about something and it never helped. If not today, then tomorrow. I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah, Mohit, thank you. And one more question. While you are discussing a solution in GP, but some of the candidates would try to do some Rambo acts such as facing the goons head on. So if most of the members are going with that plan of facing the goons head on, but you are saying we should just inform the police about it. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? Do you go with the group or you stick to your point only, even though the group is not allowing you to do that?
Okay. So actually has happened to me. So this was one guy who actually had written a lot of courageous stories in his TATs and had this mindset that he is supposed to express courage in his duty also. So this is something he later told us why he was doing so. The condition was same. Coons had kidnapped a child and was supposed to do some criminal activity afterwards. So his plan was that we use lathis and stones to charge on them, eventually catch them, and then hand over to the police station. In such situation, it can be that the person is very adamant and is not backing off. I think, in my opinion, you should not move further unless you feel like this is explicitly wrong. You cannot do it. So have a simple argument, clearly ask him. Okay, first listen to my opinion, what I suggest. Then whatever the advantages of your opinion is. Let's say you are taking a safer choice. To defend it, you can say that these are the same criminals who are going to bomb a bridge. Imagine the amount of ammunition and how powerful and trained these guys would be. Now we are just candidates. How long can we stand in front of them? That too with weapons called stones and lathis. How long will we stand? Then ask that person, okay, do you take responsibility that all the men who are going out there, let's say a team of 9, all will come back without any injury or in fact without any death, or since these are the criminals who have kidnapped people, who are bombing bridges. So do you think it's the right way? In my case, it went for very long. We argued for very long. Eventually, I was able to convince more guys than him in the group, and we had a vote that what we need to do. The majority was in going for the police station, and that's how I handled it in my case. But depending on your case, you can, I think, put your argument why, or your opinion or your idea, your solution to this question, this problem is better in as in relative to his solution for the question. And I think if you do this plus minus, this will be clear in the front of everyone, all the group members, that which idea is good and which is to be followed. Because certainly in the heat of argument, many people who are quite passive will go with this guy that, okay, we are going to be army officers, let's fight these gangsters. So I think if you clear out the plus and minus, you will be able to convince the group members, and that's all you need.
Thank you, Mohit. I get it.
Any other question?
Mohit, in the GDs, GD, if all the problem can be solved simultaneously, so it is you spend the time on discussing the priority, or you simply say that we can do these things simultaneously?
Okay, what I do is that I suggest in them all the problems are equally important, but happily we are in a situation that we can handle all the problems in the given time only, because we need a few people for this job, few people for this job, and few people for this job, and all the jobs can start at the very starting of the at the present time only. At the present time only, a team one can go this side, team two can go this side, to team three go on this side, and then I give the advantage of this doing this, because if the entire team goes to first problem, then to second problem, then to third problem, it will take eventually more time. The second or the third problem might get compromised. So, and to ensure that all the problems are solved effectively, and we also are in a safe state to get back or to do what our main aim is. So I think if we are able to do this, if you state this argument in the people in front of the people, they will be convinced about your idea. So rather, instead of like this will depend upon the GP also. That do you need to prioritize a very specific problem because it is very demanding, it is time stipulated, and all the resources are required at the moment. If so, then you can do it. But this is one of the exceptions. So certainly it depends upon the exercise only. Whatever it is stated, use your logical ability, you'll be able to solve it.
All right.
Okay, any other? Okay then. Now I'll talk about the PGT, HGT, FGT, and command task. In the PGT itself, see, I have never myself physically gone to any coaching GTO ground. I've just seen pictures of them and videos of them. I understood what is the mechanism used, what are the resources given to us, what are the ways to use them, and in whatever situations it can be used. I used to practice that by pausing the video in between before the people in the video actually would solve it. Give a mature thought. It's similar to in the pictures. Sometimes you of course get to learn new things. You're supposed to learn new things, and YouTube videos will help you. People who are having experience in this, and during NFA activities, I think on every Sunday we have this GTO outdoor class. We have people who are experienced, who generally have more ideas, and this give an insight to the people who are new into it. So in my opinion, I think if you have the understanding of using certain resources in a certain manner, you'll be able to solve PGT. Again, group manners will pay off here also. You need to have good coordination with the group, because certainly you'll be having options here. Whenever there are options, there will be debate on which option to choose. So initially think yourself, like if you have to do the entire PGT, what would be your mindset, which way to go, then project it or express it in the front of a group. Sometimes people will get convinced, sometimes will not. So even if they do not get convinced, then probably they are on the option side, which is quite difficult for you. Please try putting effort into it continuously. Eventually you will be able to get ideas. In the initial, do not get desperate to go ahead. Rather, what I suggest is uh, stay a bit distant from the given structure. You'll be able to get a good insight of it. The person who is standing on the structure will not be able to see how well the structure is, but the person who is standing a bit far from it will be able to see that so is in so structure. We have this and this resource. where can I put this and that, so that certainly the plank is stable enough so that I can walk on it. So if you do this, once you have got the idea, then I can suggest you that you instead of telling the person to tie a rope there and put the plank there, because this is a time waste, you should just simply ask the person that can I switch my place with you? Since this is allowed in GTO grounds, you can simply walk to his position, implement whatever idea you have, then the group will continue. Time in BGT will be very helpful to you. Do not waste times in the initial two; they are very easy. Just in case very debate is happening from here to there, do not waste time on that, because in the first and second BGT, either of the methods will work. None of them is going to be very hard, but it is going to the third and fourth which is going to be demanding, and let's save time for those who are more demanding, as the PGT name suggests. Now in the half group task, I suggest that you should be the person in half group task. I think six, at max six, 4 to 6 ideas will be entirely taken to solve the entire structure and the problems. 4 to 6 ideas at this will be the range, and you should be the person who will be giving maximum ideas. Half group task where there are minimum number of people, here you can whatever idea you have, think fast. And if you have the as I said, the understanding of the mechanism of the resources given to you and how to use them in different positions, because the pictures that I have shared or you will get to see, or the videos you will get to see, will not be very similar to what is actually which is actually present at the GTO grounds. But that does not matter. In the practice sessions, we are practicing that with given certain sources and given certain position or situation, we are how can we use the resource to make a plank which is stable enough so that I can walk on it. We are practicing this. If you are able to contemplate this with enough practice, you will be able to solve most of the problems which are projected in the GTO ground. Similar will go for the command task. Again, in the command task, another suggestion: do not waste time on telling your coordinates to tie the rope there and put the plank there. Do it yourself. It will save time. It will be rather more effective and productive, because if you can save time, you will be able to think more about other problems also. If you are left with time, then GTO will ask you to go on that side, think about that structure. This is giving you opportunity to express or show your caliber. So, and this can only happen if you have enough time. So do not spend waste time on telling subordinates to do this and that. If the job can be done by you, please do it immediately. And coming to the final group task, I think by this time you have developed certain kind of respect in the front of every group member of yours if you're doing good. And by the FGT, you'll be able to again use your mind to give ideas and your group skills to convince the group to follow so and so. Any doubt in this?
तो इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टेकल तो आपने फर्स्ट क्लास करी दिए होंगे मोहित?
हाँ सर, 14 के
14 के गुड टफ चैप. तो आपने since your last attempt, how much improvements you have made overall in yourself?
So may I compare it to my first attempt?
फर्स्ट से करो या प्रीवियस से करो, जिससे भी करके बताओ.
Okay, sir. So as I said earlier also, my speed, be it in OIR or writing GP solutions or psychological test, it has tremendously increased, and I am able to comprehend my thoughts very clearly and express them. Similar thing automatically got reflected in my interviews also. I was able to think more clearly and in a quick manner, answer the questions. Like in both my TES entries, my confidence went quite along. And in both the cases, I was given number of SRTs, and I'm very content with all the answers that I have given. And I was aware that I have given answers in a very quick manner without uh, taking so much time. I was able to get a clear thought of what is supposed to be done. This is one thing which I have improved. Second thing was my communication skills itself. I still need to improve a lot upon them. We can improve in everything ever long. But if I compare it to before I started my SSB attempts, it was quite weak, especially due to COVID, since my interaction got nullified. So with thanks to the practices in the NFA sessions, I was able to get a good hold on English, and the thing has helped me all across the SSB. Apart from that, like when I was starting my SSB journey, I got a number of suggestions, remarks from other people कि भाई तेरा तो हो ही जाएगा, तेरा नहीं होगा तो किसका होगा. So I got very overconfident कि SSB तो मजाक की चीज है, आराम से जाएंगे, रिलैक्स करते हैं, सब कुछ enjoy करेंगे and eventually we'll get selected. Over course of time, I realized that duality is a thing of a man. आपको वो रखनी ही चाहिए. When it's you're supposed to perform in a task, then you should perform with it maximum efficiency, with maximum productivity, with a good impression upon all people seeing it. When you're supposed to enjoy, then enjoy it to the most. And my experience says you will be able to enjoy your free time best when you have done in good in your reasonable testing times. So this mentality got changed over these attempts of SSB. And by the time I reached my last attempt, I think I was doing very fine in this. When the test started, I was very concentrated, focused on what I was supposed to say, do. And the moment it ended, I was very jolly good guy, enjoying the things. Whatever observations I had, shared them in a funny manner with the other guys of the group. Eventually, made a number of friends in this course of time. And as I said, that people are the most important assets to any human around. These are the people which teach you things which books cannot teach you, which other experiences cannot teach you. These guys will teach you. So make good friends all around. And duality was the best thing, I feel like, sir. But I have learned in these sessions. I hope it will help me further in my life also. I had one concern initially that I was not able to see college life since in the first attempt I was about to join the academy, but at last I got merit out. So eventually I joined my college also. That was also a very fine experience. Learned the new things when you change the city, especially I came to Delhi. So a number of new experiences. You get to decide for yourself what you want to do, what you want for yourself. I think all these things with good guidance from people like Sir Col Nehru and people who are a number of people who are in NFA. I've learned a lot of things from them also. They are way more mature than me. And I am very hopeful that in the coming attempts, they will get recommended also. So all the best to all and thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mohit, for sharing your experiences and guiding all the students through the various steps and even clarifying thoughts about what were your inner thoughts when you were doing the task and suggestions for people very valuable. I myself found this session very educative. So, बहुत बढ़िया है. And fine then, so it remains for me to thank Mohit on behalf of all of us. Congratulations for the great job done, for making all of us proud and explaining the things in a very lucid manner for the help of everybody. Thank you, Mohit, and thanks all of you for attending the session. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.